My name is Jerry Prather. I guess in Mississippi terms, normally it's Jerry Joe Prather is what my legal name is. I was born and raised in New Albany, Mississippi, on the north side called on Dom Street, which I know a lot of people are familiar with that. Born to a lady by the name of Ethel Mae Prather. I have two brothers, one sister. Sister is the oldest. Her name is Carrie Lee Mosley. Currently, she's 80 years old, soon to be 81 next month. Happy birthday, sister. Then I have a brother by the name of Booker Haynes Prather. He's 78 years old. He lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. By the way, my sister also lives here in Orlando, Florida, but she just moved here last year. And then I have another brother by the name of Joe Harden Prather. Unfortunately, he passed years ago, but was a great man. And then last but not least was me. So growing up in New Albany was fantastic. Like I said, we lived over on Dom Street for many, many, many years. And that's basically where I grew up until the 8th grade, when we moved over to, actually it was the south side we lived on, moved over to the north side on Peterson Street, and lived there until I graduated high school and went on to college from there. But great experiences in New Albany all the way around. I know this is more of a sports interview. So as far as me getting involved in sports, I really kind of followed my brothers. They both played basketball in high school and were very good players. So I don't even think I could even equal up to how good they were back in the day. But I grew up watching them play basketball, and that's where I kind of picked up the love of the sport back then. I really started kind of getting involved with just pickup basketball. And then when I got to the 8th grade, a couple of the coaches started working with me on my shooting, my dribbling and stuff like that. And with that work, I got better and better as the years went on. And going from middle school to high school, W.P. Daniel, by the way, Bulldogs, that's where I continued to get better and better. My coach from the 9th grade up to my junior year was Coach Quinn, a very good man. And then by the time I hit my senior year, Coach Quinn, I think, had stopped being the basketball coach, and Coach Beadle became the basketball coach then. And kudos to him. He did a fantastic job helping me develop my game. From that standpoint, I'm trying to figure out where to start from there for sports is concerned. We had good teams, not great teams. I understand they got even better after I graduated, but we had some very good teams. We got, I think, knocked out in the north half by Boonville is my memory that kind of recollecting there. But we did have some very good teams back then. Some of the players, I just want to kind of recognize them on our team was Gerald Turner, Jimmy Reed, Joseph Newton, Amos Rogers. My phone there kind of dropped a little bit there. Ricky McCollum, Ronnie Jarvis, all good players back in the day, and I really enjoyed playing with all those guys back then. As far as recognitions, I did get voted as the one of the all-stars in the Union County tournament that we actually won, by the way. So that was good. And then a couple of little things there too that I got recognized for is being the I guess most athletic or whatever it is my senior year. And also I think the biggest thing was being as part of the Hall of Fame for W.P. Daniel. I think I was one of 5 or 6 students that were voted as the Hall of Fame, voted into the Hall of Fame. But all great memories from elementary, middle school, all the way up to high school. Great memories in New Albany. From there, I actually was able to get a scholarship from the University of Central Florida, what is currently called, back then it was called Florida Tech University in Orlando, Florida. And I played basketball for them for 4 years. We actually made it to the Final Four in Division II my senior year. We thought we were hot stuff back then. I had won 22 games in a row until we ran up to some real competition when we got to the finals. But we had a great time there. Enjoyed college, got some recognition. I was voted to the UCF Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, back in 1999. Back then, and like I said, it was just great memories there. From that standpoint on, I graduated from college and have now been with my current employer, Travelers Insurance, now for the last 42, almost 43 years. Hoping to retire here very soon in about the next year or two. So that's kind of a brief history of what about Jerry Prather and sports and what I've done. Back in high school, I wasn't as thick as I am. I shouldn't say as fat, but as thick as I am now. So I was very tall, 6'4". I weighed about 160 pounds. And when I stuck my arms up, I looked like a tree. So they coined the nickname Tree. And that's what I was known as throughout all my high school. Any articles that you might have seen about me and everything, they always referred to me as the Tree. So that's how I got that nickname, the Tree, because I was so tall and skinny. And once I raised my arms up, I did look like a big old tree. So I actually started school at B.F. Ford. Went there until the 8th grade is when they integrated our schools. I think that was 1969 is when they integrated school. I went there in 8th grade and then went to New Albany Middle School and then from there to W.P. Daniel.
So your brothers obviously played for B.F. Ford School then?
Yes, they played all the years at B.F. Ford. Mm-hmm.
And who was their coach? Do you know?
Ernest Kennedy back in the day. We called him Coach Kennedy. That was our coach.
Now, when you integrated, was Coach Kennedy your coach? Did you ever get to be coached by Coach Kennedy?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Because he came to the high school, right?
He did. He came as I think the driving instructor at the time. And I think he also was like an assistant, but I never got to play high school ball for him. When I got to high school, he was not coaching at that point in time.
Did your brothers ever talk about Coach Kennedy?
Oh yeah, well they always talk about how great he was, and I knew Coach Kennedy from afar. You know, I was young, but I knew him from afar. But he was a fantastic coach. My brother's 78. I'm 65, soon to be 66. The other brother would have been. So they were about 13 and 15 years difference between us. So I don't recollect as far as them playing there at the gym and me watching them. More so, I saw them actually playing pickup ball near our house. We actually had a goal on the side of our house there that they used to always play ball there. And I used to always just like to watch all the players play. Really, I picked up the basketball when I got to like the 8th grade. We were doing pickup ball, but then when I really got serious, it was in the 8th grade when they integrated. And I guess maybe the coaches saw some kind of potential in me and kind of teach me the art of what, basketball is all about. Just to give you a size difference between me and my brothers, I don't know how I got to be so tall, but I know I'm my mom's son. But I am 6'4". My oldest brother is about 5'6", and my brother that passed, he's a 5'3", and my sister's 5 foot. So needless to say, I got the height from somewhere. I think it was my grandfather, because my mom was actually 4'11". So I showed up at 6'4" is amazing. The Union County tournament that we had there, that may have been the one that kind of, just because we won it, and we hadn't won it for years, and we pulled that off. You were playing against teams like Myrtle that had Colbert Graham there, East Union, West Union that had the Coker brothers, Ingomar, and those teams. They were very good teams back in the day. Funny story. So we actually played down in Amory, Mississippi. And after the game, which we did win that one, by the way, I guess either assistant coach or whoever from the other team actually came to me and said, "Hey, have you ever thought about going to Florida?" I said, "No, I have not." He said, "I've got a friend that's a coach down there at this college called Florida Tech University. I'm going to have him reach out to you and just get your interest, see whether or not you want to kind of go." And the coach by the name of Torchy Clark, he actually reached out to me, and we had just really gotten a phone my senior year, because we didn't have a phone back then, and reached out to me and asked me, "Hey, do you want to come down just to visit the college?" And I did. I was actually driven to Memphis, Tennessee by Mr. Gibson. Mr. Gibson actually drove me to Memphis to get on the plane to fly home, fly to Orlando to visit the team. And the biggest memory there when I landed and the coach picked me up, we were driving toward to the college, and we passed all these orange trees. And the smell of the oranges just kind of really attracted me. I was like, "Oh my God, this is like heaven." So that was one of the things that I remember the most as far as my first visit to the college was that, just the smell of the oranges in the air when we drove towards the college. Mr. Gibson was I guess everybody's friend or whatever. Mr. Gibson was known around New Albany, so anybody's anybody know Mr. Gibson. He just a great person, good friend of the family. But Mr. Gibson is known, and he was a teacher at the school also at BF Ford. He was just known to everybody, to always reach out, to give and do stuff like that. So that's how it came to be.
If you needed a ride to the airport, he could get you
Oh,
there.
exactly. We didn't have a car or anything. It was just me and my mom. So but we needed a ride to Memphis, and he provided that ride.
Was that the first time you had ever flown?
First time ever. Yes.
So did you visit any other schools, or was that your?
The only other school I did visit was Northeast Community School, community college or junior college, whatever you want to call them. And actually, that's where I was going to go, was to Northeast. And when I did get the offer from Florida Tech, I ended up making that decision to go. I actually consulted with my brothers and sisters, and they said, "Hey, this is an opportunity. You got a 4-year college down in Florida versus a 2-year college in Mississippi. Take that opportunity." And at the time, unfortunately, my mom was going through a lot of health issues too, which I was kind of hesitant about leaving Mississippi at that point in time. But they said, we'll make sure mom's taken care of. Don't worry. Take that opportunity to be able to go to a 4-year college.
Wow. And you said that you were approached by an Amory coach, the opposing team.
Yes, which is weird. After the game, yeah.
Do you remember his name?
I do not.
Yeah, you must have really stood out for your opponents to recruit you.
Yeah. I've forgotten how much we beat them by, but yeah, we did beat them. And just how things happen in life, one little precious moments, and that was mine. So
yeah, life-changing, I'm sure.
It was definitely life-changing. Yeah. Been there here since 1974.
When you were growing up, did your mom work outside of the home?
My mom actually was a maid. Yep. She did work outside the home. She actually worked for the people that own our home down on Dom Street, the Parks.
That street doesn't exist anymore.
Does not exist at all anymore. Every time I come back, which I try to make it back at least once a year or maybe every other year, back to Mississippi to visit relatives and to visit the old places. Nope, that's whole area is completely gone now. So,
do you ever remember how you spelled that?
Yes, it was actually, I spelled it D-U-M, but I think it's spelled a different way. I actually have it in my yearbook as D-U-M, spelled Dom Street. So yeah, but yeah. But I don't know exactly how the actual spelling was. I don't know if it was D-U-M-B or what. I think it really was an area that was Dom, like Stephen Quarters and stuff like that. It may have just been Dom because there were multiple homes down there. I think there was only a couple of people that kind of own all the homes, and they rented them out to us. So, oh, I remember the stands that were kind of up elevated right above the court there. And then the court actually was, I think, was it green and gold kind of area there. So yeah, but that's what I basically remember about it. You know, being young, you don't recollect as much as you were when you're older. So, and the stage area too. As you walk into the gym, the stage area is kind of in the back there. So you know, one name stuck out to me was Miss Allen when I was really young. But I've forgotten exactly what grade that was. Whether that's what, second grade, third grade, I'm not sure. But I remember for some reason Miss Allen. We always, since we didn't have a car, we always depended on our uncles to drive us up there. Whether it was Uncle Bilbo or Uncle Milton to drive us to church. But it was Union Prospect. The cotton plant, actually, I guess it wouldn't put cotton plant up that way. So we never rode a bus. We always walked. Whether it was elementary, middle school, or high school. We always walked to school. We never were a bus. That was close to around when I was in eighth, ninth grade, over on Peterson. My fondest memories, we used to always call ourselves the Northside Gang, which it was mainly for sports. We wasn't for anything else. But it was a gentleman by the name of Dennis Cannon, William Creighton, his little brother, Michael Creighton, Joe Wilson, and George Harris. We always hung out together, hung out up underneath the light at nighttime until our moms called us to come on home. But I had great memories of being on the north side there with those guys. It was a lot of fun.
You said you hung out under the light? Yeah,
we had one little light at the corner there where we would all kind of hang out.
What else was there to do?
Play ball, play basketball, play football. As a matter of fact, I remember my last spanking I ever got. I was either 11 or 12 years old, and we were playing Sandlock football. And my mom told me to be home at a certain time. I was not. So she came out there and spanked this little boy all the way back home. And I'm taller than her. As you can understand how that must have looked. So, but yeah, that was the last time I ever disobeyed my mom and didn't listen to her. So yeah. So that was my last spanking I ever got, or any kind of argument I ever had with my mom. It was not even an argument. It was just, I didn't come home and I was enjoying football, Sandlot football. So, but yeah, it's embarrassing being spanked all the way back home in front of your friends.
When you lived on the north side, where would you play pickup basketball?
God, it's the elementary school there, and I've forgotten the name of that school now. But we always played that. It was definitely Sandlot because it was dirt with a little goal. We didn't have a net on it, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of great memories there. And then on the other side, there we played football, right in that kind of same area. Unfortunately, Joe has passed, but I still keep in contact with Dennis. I call him DC, so he's a great friend. Whenever I come to Mississippi, I always kind of reach out to him, or we text back and forth on there. William Lee, he's out in Oklahoma, I think now, but we text every now and then too, and or call each other in any kind of event that may happen there. George, get in contact with him every now and then, or see him whenever I come to Mississippi too. So Michael, unfortunately, passed quite a few years ago.
And you said you come home a couple of times a year if you can?
At least once a year, or every other year. We're always going. We're starting to age out now, so you want to come back and visit as much as you possibly can. We're now the older relatives. So back in the day, we used to look and go, "Ooh, they're old," but now, we're that age. It doesn't seem that old. So, but I always try to come back just to reach out with my cousins and stuff like that. I don't have any immediate family as far as my brother and sister. My sister, actually, like I said, she lives with us. My brother lives in Indiana. But as far as first cousins and stuff like that, quite a few. Matter of fact, I have a cousin actually that works with you guys. Glidden Faye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. yes. That's my cousin. Yeah.
Just want to give a special thanks to my family, my wonderful wife Cheryl, my kids, Zandy, Joseph, and Brandy, and my 7 grandkids, Jayla, Damani, Avery, Mateo, Joseph, Maya, and Mario. So it's just want to give that special thanks out to my family. So